it's Paul Ryan. Following up on last week, in 2026, the USA recorded music industry will exceed $18 billion, of which the lion's share, by a big margin, 84% or $15.4 billion derived through streaming. We know that 254 million Americans will, quote unquote, according to Nielsen, actively pursue music in 2026. And we know that unlike the old hard copy LP days, people don't stream artists or albums necessarily. They hear a song they enjoy, they download it onto their personal playlist. But are you curious how large and popular our industry is, the music industry, versus other industries? I am. I was when I started doing the research. So here I'll step back and simply take a look at the music industry in the bigger picture. How large is it vis-a-vis other common products we consume? For music, I'll use the Nielsen 254 million figure, since active music consumers must roughly equate to the percent purchasing. Whether they purchase just a little teeny-weeny bit or a whole lot, they're still buyers. And this is the equivalent percentages for other industries. Dine at restaurants or fast foods, 88%. Buy fragrance products, 78%. Recorded music, 75%, pretty widespread. White bread, buy white bread, 65%, so we're ahead of white bread. Buy paint, 61%. Remember, music is at 75%. Ice cream is 50%. Kitchen cookware, buy kitchen cookware items, 40%. Buy men's shoes, 32%. Just a few industries to give a sort of an example of where music fits. So in conclusion, music's a reasonably popular product based upon the degree of consumption within the overall population. But what about revenues? How big is the music industry within that larger context? The 18.3 billion, how big is it? Here's a few industries to give a comparison. Food stores, 885 billion, almost $1 trillion. So music's less than a tenth of food stores. Car dealers, new car sales, 126 billion. Major League Baseball, 11 billion. So music at 18 is almost double Major League Baseball. NFL, 20 billion. We're at 18, so about the same size as the NFL. Footwear, 85 billion. Hotels, 143 billion. Soaps, detergents, and cleaners, 25. So in the grand scheme of things, music revenue is roughly in the ballpark of the NFL in terms of industry size. It's chasing the soap and detergent business and far smaller than food stores. Next week, I'm going to go back and look at how all of this breaks down. Do some people pay more for their music than others? Stay tuned next week, and I'll take a look at that.
It's that time in Sound Threads where Paul will play one of his songs. Hope you enjoy.
The Matter of a Heart is the featured song this week. I wrote the song about an office crush kept secret. The singer tells a fellow worker how he feels and hopes for a positive response. And when I wrote the song, I used the word matter purposefully, as it's kind of a business word. Anyway, it's to parallel the business jargon that you might hear in an office.
Well, there's just no way to make this easy, so I'll just come out and say what's on my mind. I've lately built a wall to hide my feelings. My indifference, though contrived, has been unkind. We've always been polite, we've kept our distance. We speak of things benign like this morning's rain. But now that small talk seems a trifle weary. But here I do digress, let me explain. Early every day you take the red train. At the other end of town I take the blue. When we close each business day, there's one thing left for me. the matter of a heart that longs for you. The saying goes that true love lasts forever, but beginnings can be lost in a moment's pause. So if you feel the same of things as I do, would you trade forever for what never was? And just in case you've never noticed, in every crowded room you're all I see. I look for you in every little corner, sometimes even where you'd never be. Is our story done or still to find its ending? Either way it goes, I'll be discreet. And now that you know all about my secret, can you tell me if you feel the same for me? Early every day you take the red train. At the other end of town I take the blue. When we close each business day, there's one thing left for me, the matter of a heart that longs for you. The matter of this heart that longs for you.
In last week's episode, Freddie Spaghetti played his very first gig on the tour, and it was a success. People liked his songs. No, they really liked his songs. He heads back to the motel, carefully leans his guitar against the wall, gets ready for bed, climbs in, and turns out the lights. The next morning, still on cloud nine and without much sleep, how could he sleep? He calls Rob Delroy at Delta. Freddie can hardly wait to tell him how things had gone in Detroit. Rob listens patiently to all the details and says, "Well, thanks, Freddie, I already know." "You do?" Freddie can't understand how he could possibly know already what happened last night. "Yeah, it's part of the job, especially on night one with a new act. I've got eyes everywhere." The comment seemed a bit odd and more than a little intimidating, but Freddie is full speed ahead on the tour. Delroy suggests that maybe they should include another stringed instrument to give the act more dynamic range and add a female vocalist for some songs. Freddie's not sure how to react to the extra vocalist idea. He likes the idea of adding an instrument, but another singer? After all, he'd always performed alone, even back in his apartment. It didn't feel right, and Freddie said so. Delroy defers, but suggests that Freddie think about it. The days go by quickly. After Detroit, Freddie's tour takes him east to Toledo, then Akron, then Cleveland in Ohio. And then after that, he travels to Erie, Pennsylvania, and then back to New York State. And the first New York show is Jamestown, and Britt is in attendance. Jamestown is just a short half-hour drive from Cherry Creek, and she has a single ticket, row number 5, center stage. She watches the show in happy disbelief that this is the same Freddie who used to be shy about playing for her and his mom. But it is. As the final song is ending, Freddie signals to Britt, waving her to come backstage. Britt hurries up and finds her way past a huge curtain and then into this big area with a big sign that reads, "Restricted." She's more than a bit lost and not sure this was such a good idea when Freddie appears out of nowhere. He takes her hand and leads her into the dressing room. Wow, Britt says, that was amazing. I knew your songs were good, but now with the stage and the I had no idea how good the sound is. It's just really, really good. Noel Syndergaard is busy in the corner of the room, packing up his bass, when Freddie waves him over. Noel, this is Britt Noel. Oh, so you're the famous Britt. This guy never shuts up about you. Britt smiled. Guilty, but you guys are really good. I saw Freddie do a set back home, but tonight was incredible. I had no idea how good your show is. Syndergaard smiled. Yes, it's true. I carry him. Can't imagine how bad this show would be without me. After packing up and the three went to a small bar a couple of blocks away, Freddie became the center of some embarrassing stories and some teasing from the other two. After a drink, it was time to call it a night. Freddie and Britt headed over to the motel when Syndergaard hollered, "See you in Buffalo." Freddie gave him a thumbs up as Britt wheeled and curtsied. "Nice to meet you." The next morning, Britt headed back to Cherry Creek while Freddie drove to his next show in Lancaster, a suburb of Buffalo and not too far from the Delta Records offices. Freddie knows that Rob Delroy will be at the Lancaster show, and the next day the two are going to meet at the Delta offices. The meeting is brief. Delroy wants Freddie to know that all has been going well so far. The two discussed a couple of small changes in the performance, and Delroy gently but firmly once again presses the idea of another singer. The visit by Britt and the meeting with Delroy provided Freddie some relief from the tour schedule. The routine never changed. Do a show, pack up, back to the motel, check out, next morning, then drive to the next destination. Freddie is a happy man. He doesn't enjoy all the driving, but so far the audiences have been growing and Delroy seems pretty pleased with the tour. Meanwhile, Freddie's bank account is bursting. He's making money from his shows, from merchandise, and Delta's even been hinting at doing a record. For Fred Barton Jr., life is good. No, life is exceptional, wonderful, perfect. Freddie even thinks about buying a house back in Cherry Creek. Could he afford it now? Thank you for listening to Sound Threads. Remember to come back right here next week for another edition of Sound Threads.